every news outlet in the world has your face on it, has your story on it. How did we get there? What was the story behind leading up there?
So she's got her own TV show in the US and TLC, which is about her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she had cancer as a child, and that left her with short stature. So she's 3'10". So she comes up to about my waist.
Yeah.
And everyone's obsessed with Shauna around dating, like her dating, because she looks young. People think she looks like she's 7 years old, and she's not. She's 24. So it came out that this guy who, this 28-year-old guy is dating this girl who looks 7. Or they said she's stuck in the body of a 7-year-old, which I don't agree with that terminology. She doesn't agree with that, but that's what the show runs with. And they just really played that angle that there must be something wrong with me to like her, which I really fucking hate that narrative because she's a human being. Yeah. But there must be something wrong with me to like her because how could anyone possibly like her? Like I really fucking hate that narrative. It really hurts me because I know it hurts Shauna. But yeah, they played that narrative. That's when all the YouTubers jumped on it. Like literally all of my social media feeds, I was just seeing my face everywhere.
So
like me and Shauna's face everywhere. I didn't really have any support. I had zero support. So that's why I had to turn to you and a few other close friends. And you guys were there for me and I really appreciate that. And you were very fucking good at it as well. Like help me with that sort of PR nightmare. Where the whole world is like, this guy's a pedo.
Yeah. It's a hard one to deal with, man. That's in the deep end.
It is in the deep end, very much so. Like the entire world is like, this guy's a pedo. And I'm sitting there like, no, I'm not.
You kind of released this video that went again viral and it kind of spawned a second wave of media coverage. You did this response and it was a rough time for you and it was quite an emotional response where you spoke about Shauna and your connection and what it was and how like disgusted you felt at all of this, which it was a very brave thing to do, man, because it was a rough time. You're in a rough spot.
I think most people's response in that scenario where the world's calling you a pedo and the entire world's media is like on you and all the YouTubers are on you, the natural response is to like go under a rock and hide away. And I think that's like a really dark path to go where, you need to confront it. And Shauna told me something which really stuck with me, which is like any PR is good PR as long as you handle it the right way, which I felt like I had to do. And I wanted to do because it was kind of like a fuck you back to the media. Obviously, I got a lot on the line. I've got my business, I got future relationships, I was like, in my head, it was like, fuck, I'm never going to get a girlfriend again because every girl's going to read this and think bad of me. Their family's going to think bad of me. I'm never going to have a business or a real job ever because people will read this. Yeah. So it's like kind of me, I had to sort of fight back. Yeah. So there's a big like, no, this is wrong. Fuck you, media. Fuck you, YouTubers. Like, she's one of my best friends. I've got such an amazing connection with her. I love her to pieces. And, she deserves to have a relationship with someone else. So that message was so deep within me. It just sort of came out and I stood my grounds. And it just felt like I was in a battle. But that sort of, when I made that video, it changed the whole tide of everything. Yeah. Because I really basically put a mirror to the media and sort of showed them what they were doing. And then they sort of then backed me and they sort of said, all these trolls are calling this guy pedo, they're calling him a creep. And they were on my side. Even today, I've got media against me. Like recently, Shauna announced she's got a new boyfriend. And there's like loads of articles from different shitty media outlets saying like, oh, Dan Swigert was only with her for, just to get more Instagram followers. Yeah. So yeah, there's still that narrative of like, how could you possibly like her?
To help people realize what was kind of on the line here. Obviously, like, you're in the startup space, tech startup space, you have a huge network, you're very well known, respected, like you work with a lot of founders, you're connected to a lot of VCs. You have a lot on the line. You have a very high profile network. Like, you're not some fluffy, like, influencer person who just puts everything on the line for the sake of it. It came across really, really, really well. And there's some really nice, genuine moments that are actually recorded on camera. And I think anyone listening should go and just check out a few clips, type it in. What was it, season 2?
Yeah, just Shauna Rae and Dan.
Shauna Rae and Dan.
They'll come up with all the clips.
Yeah, go and check out some clips, see what we're talking about here. Kind of continuing on that line, you got invited onto a second show. Now... That was also an interesting experience. You didn't make your life easy.